The day has finally come. We're getting countertops today. They are supposed to be here sometime, they could be here any minute or within the next hour. So they said they'd be here between 10 and 11 today to install the countertops. I'm so excited. It's gonna make our kitchen feel so much more finished, even though after we get the countertops installed, we still have a lot to do in this kitchen. To prepare for the installation, I had to install a little bit of framing back here in this corner of the cabinets. I don't have a cabinet in the corner, and that's on purpose. I kind of hate corner cabinets. I know people are gonna be like, oh, you need a corner cabinet, it's just wasted space. I hate corner cabinets. I hate lazy Susans. Stuff always falls behind them. They're hard to clean, and it would have taken up a lot of space to create that corner condition there, and it would have upset the symmetry on either side of the stove. So that's why I don't have a corner cabinet. I'm also still planning to build more cabinets in here. I'm gonna have like a pantry cabinet. I'm gonna have an island, so I'm gonna have plenty of storage in this kitchen. And I'll have a fridge, a cabinet over the fridge as well. So I'm not even worried about the storage aspect. I just liked the way it looked better without the corner cabinet situation in there, but I do need to put some blocking in there so that the countertop can span over that and have some structural support. So I did that. I also had to go ahead and remove our temporary countertop that we had in place here. So I had to uninstall this sink, but getting that sink faucet out was such a pain. It's not hard to do, but it's just a really tight position up in there, and it's really hard to get my fingers in there, but I finally got it out. All right. So get in there and tap it with the screwdriver, you said. Oh, the screws dropped. I have no idea where it went. Like, how do you, like, why? There we go. Got it. So now everything is ready for them to come in and install. So anyway, this is the official before shot of our kitchen without countertops, and this is the after. Yay! They look so good. I mean, honestly, having the countertops on here makes it feel like the countertops are just enormous because I've been working on such a small section of counter for so many months since we got this house. So we decided to go with solid surface countertops, and we used Home Depot to source those countertops. And we used the Wilson Art brand of solid surface in the color Hidden Space. It's a really, really dark blue, almost black color, and it's got some little speckles in it. And I really liked the look of soapstone, but soapstone was just not in our budget. They have so many colors and patterns and speckles to choose from. And so I wanted to go with something really simple and not too busy, but I really liked the look of the black. So the solid surface price point is a step above something like a laminate. One of the really nice things about solid surface is that there are no seams. There's not any seams at the corners or the edges, and even in the corner back here where they had to kind of put two pieces together, they were able to buff it really nice and smooth, and you can't even tell. It looks like one piece. And I'm also planning to get a backsplash to go here behind the sink. I'm not gonna be doing backsplash anywhere else on this countertop. I just want it to run right into the wall. I really like the look of that. So I will have a backsplash behind the sink though, because I was noticing I do get quite a lot of water splashing onto the wall from the sink when we're doing dishes and washing our hands and things like that. So I just wanna protect that wall a little bit better. I thought about putting a backsplash also behind the stove, but I've been cooking on the stove. I really haven't noticed a lot of an issue at all with getting food on the back wall there. So I'm not even gonna worry about that. And I also just was like, not sure if I would like the way it looked to have the black behind the stove there. So I decided to forego the backsplash behind the stove and just have it behind the sink. When I was reading reviews about which type of countertop I wanted to go with, I was kind of debating between the solid surface and a quartz. I was looking at quartz. The reviews that I was reading online about solid surface, people were saying things like, oh, you can't put a hot pot on your countertop. I don't do that anyway. I don't ever put anything hot on the countertops. I always have either an oven mitt or a hot pad or something that I put under things if I'm gonna set them on the countertop. So that's not really an issue for me. And if it does get damaged, it's supposed to be pretty easy to buff out and repair. You don't have to worry about cracks or discoloration as much, especially for a darker color like this. I don't think that's gonna be something I'm gonna have to worry about, but obviously I'll report back in a few years if I do notice anything that kind of bugs me about this type of material for our countertops. But I did a lot of research and decided that this was the best bet to fit into our budget and for the way that I use a kitchen. And I cook a lot. I actually cook quite a lot. I cook almost all of our dinners. So I'm really looking forward to getting in here and cooking some more now that I have more prep surface. So anyway, we have countertops now. I'm very, very, very pleased about that. And yeah. So it has been about a month since our countertops were installed, and I'm extremely happy with the way they look and everything. And then last week we actually had our backsplash installed. Now we have a lot of little things to do. And Alan and I have been talking about the next projects we want to work on. Alan really wants to start tackling the basement and to get the bathroom in the basement up and running. But I really want to finish the kitchen before we move on to the basement. A lot of those things I probably will not get to until after the holidays. So as of filming this, it is the week before Thanksgiving, or actually the weekend before Thanksgiving. And next week we're going to be visiting family, and holidays are just a busy time. So I'm probably not going to get to the kitchen stuff before we go. But one thing that I wanted to work on today is getting some curtains in this living room. So this living room has kind of a fishbowl vibe right now. And especially at night, sometimes I feel very exposed, and I have seen cars slowing down as I pass our house. So I mean, it's a little creepy. I don't know. And I watch a lot of true crime, so I need to get some coverings on these windows. I would love to do something a little bit kind of plush and dramatic on the window coverings, and I'm still kind of deciding exactly like what colors I want to do. But for the actual shades on the windows, I think I'm going to do some kind of Roman shade that's pretty neutral. But for now, I'm actually going to hang up some curtains that I already have, because the curtains and the shades that I want to order are going to take a little while to get here. And since, we're going to have a lot going on with the holidays, I just want to make sure that we're here when those deliveries arrive. So I'm going to wait until after the holidays to order those things. But I do have some curtains from our previous place, and I have some curtain rods, and I can go ahead and put the curtains up in here and give ourselves a little bit more privacy. It's been about a month and a half since we had the countertops installed, and we've been back from the Thanksgiving holiday visiting family for about a week now. Since we've been back, I've been getting really excited about finishing some things here in the kitchen. So I thought I would just kind of run through my plan over the next several weeks for this kitchen and talk about the next projects we have coming up, some of the things I'm excited about, some things I want to change, because there is something that I want to change about the kitchen. I kind of knew it immediately after the countertops were installed. I want to change the color of the cabinets. I'm actually not very happy with the color. I feel like it's a little too saturated, a little too like yellow green, and I want to go with something a little bit more neutral for the cabinets. I'm still kind of figuring out exactly what direction I want to take that in. I thought I might do something dark on the bottom and light on the top, or just do something kind of lighter and neutral throughout the kitchen cabinets. So that is something that is definitely going to change. But first, before I change the color, I actually need to finish building the cabinets. Throughout the design of the kitchen, I've been using a program called SketchUp to do a 3D model of the kitchen and the design direction that I want to take this in. And that has been so helpful for me. This is a program that I learned how to use when I was in architecture school. I still use it quite a lot actually, and I'm really glad that I know how to use that, because it's been very crucial for kind of planning out the space and thinking about the scale of everything. Now for the fridge cabinet, I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do there already, but I hadn't really worked out all the kinks of how that cabinet was going to go in place there. So what I'm going to do is have a cabinet on top with doors, but inside I want to have a drawer, a shallow platform that rolls out on sliders that I can put some of my not as frequently used appliances, just like bigger, kind of more awkward things that I don't have a great place to store in the basic cabinets in the rest of the room. Now, because our fridge is against a wall here on the left side, I had to kind of pull it away from the wall a little bit, and I accounted for that when I was laying out the cabinet design, because I wanted to be able to open the left side of the French door, you know, a good bit and not be constricted too much by the position of the wall. So I didn't want to put that right against the wall so that I had a little extra space to open that door and get in there. And I'm glad that I did that. But one leftover kind of design challenge that presented was I had this space there that's not really big enough for anything substantial, but I didn't want to waste that space. So what I'm going to try to do, and I think this is going to work, but what I'm going to try to do is create a really narrow pull-out pantry shelf that I can put canned goods in. And for the longest time, I wasn't really sure how I wanted to do the range hood because I don't want to have cabinets above the range. I was on Pinterest a lot looking up ideas for how I wanted to do that because everything I saw, I just really didn't like the way it looked. And I didn't want it to stand out too much. I wanted it to look like it was meant to be in this space. And I think I've come up with a design that is gonna work well. I am planning to just build out a range hood there, and I'll probably have like a little shelf and, you know, do something a little decorative up there to add a little extra charm to the kitchen. I also have quite a bit of finishing to do on the sides of the cabinets. I did buy some veneer to go on the sides of these cabinets where I have the pocket holes exposed. Originally, I was thinking that I would just fill the pocket holes with dowels. They make special dowels that can go into those pocket holes, and I would sand them down and then paint over everything and it would be seamless. Well, those dowels are actually not that easy to put in. Getting those dowels like cut off and sanded down is gonna be a little bit more work than I was anticipating. So I did buy some like wood veneer that I'm planning to put over the sides of the cabinets to conceal all of that, and I'll just repaint that and finish it really nicely so it looks completely seamless. One idea that a commenter had suggested a while back, which is actually a good idea. I'm not gonna do this, but I think it is a good idea if it's something that you might run into yourself. But they had mentioned like putting some trim around the sides, kind of to match the cabinets on the sides of the cabinets. I thought that was actually a really good idea, even though that's not the direction I'm gonna go in, but I did wanna mention it. Currently, we are using our dining table as an island in the kitchen. I am going to be either building or finding an island to go in the kitchen. I wanna create something there that's along the lines of like a French country island. I'll put some images here, but for now we're using our table, and this table was a thrifted table and it is in really rough shape. So whenever I do get the island in there, I'm gonna refinish this table and this will be our dining table and it'll go in our newly finished dining area. And of course, I've got other little finishing details to do on the cabinets. I need to add doors to the sink cabinet and finish that. And then I also need to add the toe kick at the bottom of the cabinets. So we've got several little tiny things that need to be wrapped up in here. I think once I get that range hood cover and the cabinet over the fridge, it's really gonna pull the kitchen together. I'm so excited about that. And I'm sure there are a lot of other little things that are going to need to be done in this kitchen. There's probably things that I haven't remembered to tell you guys. And it's so funny. One of the kind of frustrating things about sharing this on the internet is that inevitably someone in the comments mentions something that either we've already thought about or we have decided not to do. And if you're seeing it, if it's obvious to you, we probably have already thought about it because we will be doing something to nearly every inch of this house. So rest assured, if you're noticing it, we probably have to, and I probably just forgot to mention it. So there's a lot of little things. As I'm editing this, I'm sure I'll be like, I wish I would have mentioned that one thing. Anyway, we have a lot to do, but the next thing that I'm gonna be working on are these cabinets. I'm getting excited, we're both getting excited to get back into project mode. At the moment, Alan is downstairs in our basement checking some stuff out. We have some big plans for the basement, but I did tell Alan I wanted to get some stuff done here in the kitchen before I kind of switch gears and go into the basement mode. So we have a lot coming up. I don't think I'll have another video here until after the new year. So if I don't see you before then, I hope you all have a wonderful new year. Thank you guys so much for being here and showing up for this channel and following and subscribing and liking and commenting. It means a lot to me. This has been such a fun project to have this year, something we've been wanting to do for so long. So it feels good to finally be in a place where we're actually working on these projects. Oh, and I put our Christmas tree up this weekend. So I'm one of those people that puts the Christmas tree up kind of late, but then I also leave it up until like the spring. It takes me forever to take our Christmas tree down because once I get it up, I'm like, oh, it's so pretty, I don't want to take it down. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for following along with us on this journey of renovating our house, and I will see you in the new year. Okay, bye.